The room was quiet, except for the sound of the lawyer turning pages. Each rustle made my heart beat faster. Mark sat beside me, his hand resting on the table like everything was fine. But when the lawyer started reading the fine print, I felt my world begin to fall apart. Before continuing, please subscribe to our channel and like our video. My name is Elaine Matthews. I grew up in a small town in Ohio, where people believed marriage was about trust and shared dreams. When I met Mark, he seemed perfect, confident, kind, and full of ambition. I worked as a high school English teacher, and he ran a small construction business he had built himself. He often talked about success and building a legacy. After a few years, he proposed to me by the lake. He said he wanted to spend his life building a future together. I believed him. Our life started simple. We bought a small house, fixed it up, and made it our home. I handled the finances, and he managed his work. We trusted each other completely. But as Mark's business grew, he started to change. He came home late, took more phone calls, and said things were just part of the plan. I wanted to believe him, but something inside me started to worry. One afternoon, he brought home some papers and asked for my signature. He said it was just for a new property deal. We'd signed things before, so I didn't think twice. When I asked what it was about, he smiled and said, "Just legal stuff, nothing big." I signed, and that was it. I didn't know I had just signed away something that mattered more than I realized. Over time, Mark became more secretive. He stepped outside to take calls and stopped sharing details about his work. Money started disappearing from our account. When I asked, he said, "Business expenses. Don't worry." But I did worry. Our home didn't feel the same anymore. We barely talked. At dinner, I sat alone most nights, wondering what happened to us. Then one day, the lawyer's assistant called and asked both of us to come in. She said it was to finalize a transfer. I didn't understand what that meant. In the meeting, the lawyer read from the file about assets, properties, and shares. And then he said the words that broke me. The undersigned Elaine Matthews relinquishes all rights to the property at 214 Ridgeview Drive. That was our home, my name, my signature. I looked at Mark. He wouldn't meet my eyes. The lawyer hesitated, then said gently, "Mrs. Matthews, the document you signed months ago transferred ownership to a company. Mr. Matthews is the sole beneficiary." I couldn't breathe. He had taken everything, hidden behind the fine print. I never read that night. I packed a small bag and went to my sister's house. All I could say was, "I signed something I shouldn't have." She didn't ask questions. She just sat with me. In the days that followed, I got my own lawyer. We reviewed every document, every account. We found out Mark had been moving assets under his name, using mine for trust. It wasn't illegal, but it was heartless. We filed to stop further transfers and started an audit. Mark sent a few short messages like, "We can fix this." But I didn't respond. Sometimes silence says more than words ever could. Weeks later, we met again in the same lawyer's office. This time, things were different. Mark looked nervous. The lawyer read the final settlement. Everything would be audited, and the house would return to my name. Mark tried to speak, but I stopped him. "Mark," I said quietly, "you wanted everything. You just didn't think I'd read the fine print this time." When I left that office, the air outside felt fresh and real. I could finally breathe again. In the months that followed, I started over, I taught part-time, tended a small garden, and found peace in the quiet moments. I learned that trust doesn't mean ignoring the truth, and love shouldn't ask you to be blind. Sometimes, the fine print reveals what the heart refused to see. Thank you for listening to my story. If you believe truth and calm courage can heal even deep betrayal, please subscribe for more stories like this.